friends, Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. I have some quick and easy Christmas cards to share with you today. You know, Christmas is one of those times that everybody loves to make handmade cards, and even better yet, everyone loves to receive handmade Christmas cards. But I know sometimes there's people that you want to make like 50 or 100 or a ton of them. And you know, to make things that take a long time and have a ton of detail is nearly impossible. So the card I have to share with you today, it really is pretty quick and easy. You could mass produce these. There's a lot of cutting, but that's no big deal. You just cut a bunch of stacks, but you could whip out a bunch of these. And I think it's a pretty cool looking Christmas card. It's kind of trendy. We're using the plaid paper, which everybody loves plaid these days. And I think you're gonna like the card. Actually, I have two cards to share with you today. So before I flip the camera down, just a quick reminder, if you're a new subscriber to my channel, welcome so much. And I mean, if you just happen to find me for the first time, make sure you do subscribe. There's a button right down there, the red button. Subscribe so that you can make sure you don't miss out on all the fun, quick and easy stamping videos that I share with you. And then in the description of the video, okay, again, we're right down there, I will have a link that'll take you to the blog post. And over on the blog post, I will have the card recipe for both the cards I have to share with you, as well as a complete list of all the colors and supplies I use. So you don't have to worry about writing everything down or guessing. It'll all be over on that blog post. And then if you'd like to order anything that I shared today, I really appreciate it when you select me to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and order through my online store. That's what helps me be able to bring you so many fun stamping projects. So without further ado, let's go ahead, flip this camera down, and let's get creating for today. Like I said, we are using plaid. So we are going to use the Plaid Designer Series paper. Love this stuff. Now, don't be fooled that this has to be just for Christmas. You know, this is a good pack to pick up and use any time of the year. You know, especially in my family, we're all about the plaid, especially my husband. So this is part of the Wrapped in Plaid suite. Okay, there's lots of coordinating products here, but all we're going to use is the punch and the paper. Well, I lied. We're going to use the greeting, the Merry Christmas, and the inside verse here from the Perfectly Plaid, but we're not stamping these trees. So if you don't feel like you're going to stamp these trees and you just love the card I have to share with you, you could probably grab any Merry Christmas or any greeting you have and make these cards. So the main thing you're going to need is the plaid paper and the punch. So let's set that stuff aside. This is the holiday catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator that you work with and you'd like a copy of this, go ahead and again, go on over to the website, and from there you can request a copy of the catalog, and I would love to send you one. So let's set this aside and let's get creating here. So like I said, there is quite a bit of cutting here. We actually have our card base plus 5 pieces of cardstock. Now I'll give you the measurements the best I can remember as I make it, but again, don't worry about writing them down. Just you can go find them real easily. This is the hard part, and it's not even hard. It's just time consuming, but I think you're gonna like the results. So we're gonna start out with a piece of Whisper White here. It's 2.5 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to take the Merry Christmas stamp, and we're going to stamp it in Cherry Cobbler. Now we're using Cherry Cobbler and Shaded Spruce because those are the colors that are in our Designer Series paper. And I want to stamp pretty far up to the top here. So let's just stamp that. And then we're going to take our tree punch, and we always want to punch upside down so we can see where we're going. And I'm going to push it not quite all the way in. And sorry, I need one more hand here to show you. I'm kind of centering it on the punch there. So you want to just center it the best you can. Make sure you are down far enough, but you're not punching into the words. And it is kind of an eyeball thing. And there we go. So there is our piece. Now, we could leave it like this, but I wanted to add a little bit of texture to it. So I'm going to go ahead and run it through the Subtles Embossing folder. And I'm just going to stick it in there. I'm going to run over to my Big Shot, and I'll be right back. There we go. I don't know if camera's really picking it up, but it just makes it feel not so flat. Then let's take our pieces that we've cut. I like to use the multi-purpose liquid adhesive, and we're going to start by adhering our plaid down to a layer. So this piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And we're just layering it onto a piece of Cherry Cobbler that's an 1/8 inch bigger. So 3 by 5/8 and 4 7/8. Then we need to grab our dimensionals. I think every time I set up to do a video, I forget to put the dimensionals over here. And I'm going to kind of go a little crazy and use several on here, but I want to make sure that this stays popped up really good. Oh, we had 2 stick together. We don't need those. Then we're going to peel these off. Okay, so I said maybe the hardest part of this card was cutting. I'm going to change that and say probably the hardest part of this card is peeling off all these dimensionals. And then you get all the pieces all over the place. And we will go ahead and we're going to just eyeball center this on the plaid. And look at you get the plaid coming through on that Christmas tree. And then we're going to adhere this to our card base, which is shaded spruce. Let's plop that on there. It's kind of funny, a while ago when I was designing this card, I put something on Facebook and I asked whether you liked the colored card base or the white, and it was pretty split. So I'm going to do 2 different cards for you today, and one's going to use color and one's going to use white, and then you can decide what you like better. Then we have the holiday rhinestones here, and I thought it would be really fun to add, let's see, why don't we do a green one? And we're going to just put that, I like to use, oops, that didn't go so good, my little piercing tool there. We'll put that right at the top of the tree. There is the inside, or the outside. And then for the inside, I just have a piece that's 5, what are we at here? 5 and 3 3/4. And we will go ahead and stamp, let's use the green on this one. So we'll use another greeting from that stamp set. Now remember, you don't necessarily have to get that the tree stamp set, but if you do like it and you like these greetings, remember, if you buy it with the punch, you do save 10%. So added benefit there. And we'll go ahead and put some adhesive on there. You know, I've been kind of into this, make the insides pretty too, layer them a little bit, add some color. So now we've got the white and the cherry cobbler, and we'll stick that to the inside. And there we go. You can see how super simple that card was. And it's really cute. Now, we got the outside, we got the inside. Let's not forget about the envelopes. So we're just going to keep our plaid theme going here. And I'm going to take the same liquid adhesive. I'm going to put it on the flap of my envelope. Okay, with this, you want to make sure you get out to those edges and up to that, the fold really good. And we're going to take another piece of designer series paper, and you can kind of slide it right up to that fold line and rub it on there really good. And there's our envelope. So I just stick it on there, and then we'll take our paper snips and we'll just cut around the edge here. Very super easy, but I think, you know, again, we're carrying this plaid theme. You know, I always say no naked envelope, so we're not stamping on the envelope, but we certainly are making the flap cute. So there's our envelope, and there's our card. So that's the first one that I have to share with you. Now I have a second one that's very similar. So let's set this aside. Now again, we have several pieces, and they're the same size. So our plaid is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Our shaded spruce is just 1/8 bigger at 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Remember, all these measurements are over on the website, so you don't have to remember them. And for this card, I'm going to use this tree that we punched out of the first one, so we're not going to waste it. But before I do that, I am going to run this through our embossing folder, just like I did before. So let's go do that a sec. And again, I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but it really adds some nice texture to our tree there. So just like before, we're going to take our designer series paper. Now you can see here the back of this plaid. So that pack is not all plaid. There's some stripes and some polka dots and some other, there are some Christmassy images. Put that on our shaded spruce like so. And then I have a strip right here, and we're going to go ahead and let's see, we got red on here. So let's use the cherry cobbler again. And this strip is just 1 inch thick, or inch wide, I guess. And we caught an edge. You know, that's why we always flip cardstock over. I should wash this. You know what? Let's wash this first. I'm picking up a lot of ink. So, gotta love the chamois. Sometimes with the chamois, I have to pick it up and wipe things off good. So, we did that. Now, let's try this again. I don't know why I'm not paying good attention. We're going to go over to the right side there too. So So I kind of messed up on that first one. Anyway, so there is our Merry Christmas. And we're going to adhere this, and this is why I always say stamp before you glue down, because there's two sides to every piece of paper. But if I would have glued this first, I would have never been able to flip it over and use the back side. And then we're going to stick this onto our plaid piece here. Let's go about right there. Try to get it somewhat straight. And then here's that tree. So let's flip that over and add dimensionals onto the tree. And we'll add this to the card. So let's peel these little buggers off. We'll put our tree, let's go about right there. And then we'll add a rhinestone to this one. Let's go ahead and use one of the gold ones. That one we'll put right on the tree. And then for this one, we'll put it onto a base of Whisper White. So the base, whenever I use Whisper White for a base, I do use the thick. The regular Whisper White, to me, just isn't thick enough when we're doing a card base. So there is that card. And we'll flip it open and we'll have a piece. This time I'm using Night of Navy along with a piece of Whisper White here. And let's see. Yeah, we can use green on the inside of this one too. I've been trying to, mix and match a little bit the reds and the greens on these cards. So we'll put our greeting there. We'll add this to our piece of Night of Navy. And then this will go on the inside of our card. So there we go. We have two simple cards. Don't go away yet because I have two more to show you. Just so you can kind of see how using all the different colors of the plaid. I think I did the insides of one a little bit different. So there we go. Here is this one. So here's one I made previously. Just a different plaid, we used cherry cobbler. And there's the inside. And then here is the one with the tree punched out that I did. And here's the first version. So this one's more cherry cobbler. And this one I did the inside a little bit different. I actually punched out a tree from this white layer before I adhered it down. I embossed using that Subtles embossing folder on this one. And then just offset it with some dimensionals. So there are those two. So like I said, it's a quick and easy card. You can make a bunch of these. I think it's really pretty. I'm kind of partial to plaid. So I hope you like it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to answer them for you, and I'm here to help you with all your stamping, your card making, and your Stampin' Up! Needs. So I look forward to hearing from you. And until I stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.